Happy Saturday, everybody. El Jefe here. We're down here in the 2-acre field looking at some of the stuff. I did some weed eating in here and did a little spraying to try to start wipe this grass out. I lost a sunflower here. You can see where the root ball kind of came up there. It's heavy. I don't know, we had some pretty strong wind over there, but what I'm gonna do, if it's gonna lay down, I'd rather it lay that way. That way the head will not be in the dirt and the birds can walk up there and eat it. Can't do them all that way, but anyway, so I must have missed a little area in here, but you can see I sprayed a little Spartan. It was all Spartan mixed in here. Hit this nut grass. It burned it down pretty good. You know, I've sprayed Roundup from basically, you can see where the edge where it stopped there, and then all the way across to, well, you can see I must have hit a little bit of the brown top in here. It was by accident. But you can see the brown top heads right there. Man, they're getting big. But it runs this little center green section right here. And then you know, of course there's brown top down around in here a little bit. There's some grass in here. That's another sunflower that I lost. But there's a dove getting up out of the sunflower field. But look at this head. Look at the seeds. Look at the seeds in there. Isn't that something? May hit this again. I don't know. I'm probably going to try to leave these flowers standing. So I may come in here with a backpack sprayer now that most of the sunflowers have headed up and they're dead, and then try to hit this grass and clean it up. Look at the sorghum. Look at that head of sorghum. My goodness, there is a ton of seed in there. Look at that one too. I don't know the difference. Maybe as it gets older, it starts to fall out a little bit, or if they're slightly different seeds. But there's a lot of sorghum in here. Won't be long, this fence will come down. And look right there, look at that brown top. I mean, it's right on target. Hopefully, it'll be somewhat matured by the end of July, and then as soon as I see it starting to brown, I'm gonna go ahead and kill it. But anyway, just kind of give you an idea on what's going on down here at the bottom. That's my father-in-law going by with old Diesel, nicknamed the Beast. I did weed eat a little bit here, down and back, and then I sprayed it. So you can see how this is going to open up. The grass is going to die. You can see some bare ground coming out. Eventually, I'll round up probably this whole center section too. I'm trying to do this early enough. I didn't get that little section there, but I'm trying to do it early enough so the grass will have a chance to die and start opening up bare ground, because the birds want bare ground. It doesn't have to be all bare ground, but they need bare ground in areas. And you can see where this has done that. There's another little broadleaf in here that either I didn't spray or it's come up since then, or maybe the Spartan, is not, but I'm guessing I just missed it. I was trying to spray around and everything, but you know, with a handheld sprayer, you miss some of that stuff from time to time. But just like with the sprayer here, I come down this section and then I went across and went down that section, but I didn't want to knock these flowers over because they're really some of the nicer flowers in this field with seed heads. So trying not to do damage at the same point, trying to get the grass out and start, and, you know, especially that nut grass. It's atrocious. I despise it. But this is a beginning. We've opened up some area. As these sunflowers dry out, the doves will start coming in here. These are another couple big sunflowers that fell over. Of course, they fell the other way, but I've turned them back this direction. So if it stays dry, the birds will come down and they'll walk right up there and peck those things. If it gets real wet again, you know, they'll germinate, but there's nothing I can do about that. You do what you can. But another little nice little sorghum stand right there. But this is the 2-acre field. The reason this looks like this is this was sweat, hands-on, weed eating, and spraying by hand. The rest of the field, you see, that it's what this looked like here before I did this. So yeah. Most of you say you're crazy, but you know, if this is the only part in the field that doesn't have a whole lot of grass and the birds just want to come in here, so be it. We just want to do what we can with what we got. You can do nothing, or you can continue to try to improve on your given situation, not throw in the towel, just try to make it the best you can, and be happy with what you got. That's important. All right, we're gonna run up to the power line field, see where she's at. So we got Roundup, a couple swaths here, trying to kill the grass. It's the 12th of July, so we're trying to start to do the final preps for Labor Day dove season. Woohoo! El Jefe out. All right, El Jefe here. We are at the power line field. I did mix a couple batches of Spartan. Spartan you can spray underneath the sunflowers. As long as you don't get it on the crown of the plant and everything, you shouldn't affect them. Do not spray it on around them if they're in a stressed time, like, you know, real dry or too much rain or something like that. They need to be in a favorable condition to spray it with the sunflowers already being grown. So I've sprayed this little section in here. You can see some of the discoloring of the grass in between the rows. I did weed eat a little bit, but then I said, to heck with it, it was a little too much. I was wore out, it was hot. But you can see these sunflowers, they look fine. You can see the grass areas where the Spartan Charge has AIM in it, which is a burn down. And you can see where it's burned down some of this smaller stuff. It looks like it's starting to burn some of the Bermuda as well. This wild Bermuda is tough. It's tough to kill. But you can see we got a ton of heads here that still haven't popped. Maybe waiting on a little rain, I don't know. But you can also see where I've sprayed the Spartan in here. You can see the browning of things, but I just want to kind of give you an idea. Now, some of this sorghum may have got some drift on it. It is a grass, but the sunflowers look good. I mean, my sorghum ideally is here. I mean, some of it came out here because I planted some rows and early on, and it didn't come up good, but hey, lo and behold, it did come up finally. So it's in the path of some of the herbicide, and I may lose a little bit there, but I'm not really concerned with that. As you can see, the sorghum looks pretty good here as well. And then a lot of sunflowers right through here that aren't quite blooming yet. But as you look that direction, a lot of sunflowers that are in bloom. You can see a mixture of bright yellow and then some of the darker heads, and some of them starting to angle down because they're already mature and they're starting to die off and dry back. But I sprayed, you can see where I sprayed Spartan. It really, that Spartan Charge, that is, through here. I'm just trying to keep some of this grass down from getting too large. I'd love to have sprayed this area here before it got up, but you can see the sunflowers, the grass is outgrew the sunflowers. So it's difficult to spray that grass when the sunflowers are small, because if you get it on the head, it'll kill them. It's just one of those things. A lot of variables I've had to work with this year, and right now I'm just trying to do what I can to make the field as good as I can. But you can see I wanted to show you the Spartan, what it was doing. This is about 1 ounce to 4 gallons. So it's not much, okay? That stuff does a lot of job, does a lot. It's very strong, and you don't want to waste your money. I mean, put the minimum amount you can in there for situations like this, and you'll get a little bit of kill, pretty good control, and then just, you know, go with it. But you can see the field, it's in pretty good shape. There is some grassy sections there, but I'm okay with that. That's just the way it goes. But I'm just showing you that some of the grass that I've sprayed. And like I said, this was a backpack sprayer. It was done by hand, so I missed a lot of areas. I went around a few areas. You know, I hit a bunch of different stuff just to kind of see what would happen. I don't know if it'll continue, if that's just going to burn that, because that grass is it's at an adult stage. If it was smaller, I know what it would do to it, but you know, it's at a different stage, so the Spartan may not totally kill it. I don't know, it'll be a wait and see. But all these sunflowers here, you can see, and they're all these are a lot of the ones that were planted, like I said, on the 18th of May. They're almost, we get a little bit of rain in the next few days and they're really gonna pop. And then of course there's a little more spraying where we sprayed around here. We're gonna take a look at this brown top. I think I'm starting to see some of it turn. You can see those heads are starting to get a little brown in them. That's a good sign. I mean, some really nice brown top heads in here. When we we'll hit this hard with Roundup, kill everything in here, and then hopefully let the grass die off, and then just let the Roundup fall off naturally to the ground. The doves are gonna eat that up. Real happy with that. And let's see, here's another little spot here I sprayed with the Spartan. It'll be interesting to see how much this cleans up and clears up. All right, I went over and over and over and over. I know y'all probably had enough talking. So we're just gonna kind of one more walk through the field here. We do have some pretty bare sections right through here. I want to show you. A little bare spot over there. But these heads got a lot of flowers on them. You know, I may have stumbled on something. I don't know if, you know, I'll ever plant this late in May again. It wouldn't have been by desire. It was just by what I was given and how everything kind of played out. But with that being said, would it be beneficial to plant one field at the beginning of April and the second field, you know, at the beginning of May? So the life cycle from germination to the time the plant's matured and dying, there's going to be a month difference. Does that make the field any better? I don't know. Something to think about. Might be worth trying. But you know, it would need to be a season where, you know, it's going to be pretty consistent across those 2 months, because if it's really dry or really wet, you know, you're not going to be able to do that. And when the window provides itself with good conditions to plant or whatever, you got to roll. Do you want to roll the dice and take a chance that you're going to have another window a month from then? I don't know. Something to think about. Well, that's it. This little area here, I'm just going to shout out one more time. This is this way just because of how the water stands here. But there's some flowers coming up through here. But I went around, you can see I've sprayed all through this area, and it does look like the Spartan's doing this job, knocking stuff down. So we're doing good. Y'all take care. July 10th. No, that is wrong. July 12th, 2025, Powerline Field in good shape. Y'all take care. I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy your family. Give your loved ones a kiss and a hug. There are people hurting in our country right now that have lost little ones especially. But to lose anybody before, or early in life or unexpectedly, it's a difficult time. Let's lift them up in prayer. Thank you, Jesus. El Jefe out.